Emma, what are you ordering?
I'm ordering chocolates and waffles, Guru.
Wow.
Well, please order 2 more because we have Miss Belgium Supranational on our show tonight.
You don't want to miss this, guys, because this is one explosive interview with Elizabeth Victoria Raska, Miss Belgium. Stay tuned. Welcome back to our channel. We are the Pageant Gurus, and as promised, this is a special episode with Miss Belgium Supranational 2024, Elizabeth Victoria Raska. Guru, are you excited about this episode today?
Well, I should start by saying that this was not promised. It was totally unexpected. And let's have a quick update as to how this all conspired. Belgium. Okay, Belgium is in blue.
I love blue. I love blue. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful gown, but she should have. No, her hair and makeup is not working.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Guru. Hey, everybody. Guess who's in the house? It's Miss Belgium. Before we begin, from Guru and I, a very happy belated birthday, my dear.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What, did you do anything special on your birthday?
I spent the day in France and just my family had a nice vegan birthday cake. And just being with your family in France is so heartwarming. And then I had a photo shoot the next day in Paris. So I was right away busy working.
Wow.
I think
so
you've started...
you're a vegan. This is something we didn't know.
Oh, yeah, I am dairy-free. So eating vegan pastries is my greatest passion in life because I know there's no dairy products in vegan.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to thank you both for inviting me here and praising me. I really appreciate your feedback and you watching our performances. And we, like, it's a secret of us, but like the beauty queens, we watch in your rooms every recap that YouTubers make.
You know, because that's always a dilemma. You know, we put in so much of content out. Is there someone who actually, you know, one enjoys it and second takes something out of it? So I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, I can guarantee you we watch it. I heard my roommate was watching videos and stuff, so we do. Yeah, we are aware. Isabella is a really big inspiration of mine because she has a very similar academic background.
Yes.
Finance, and so I was so inspired by her. I was following her journey, and I just love her. So I'm happy that I reminded you of her because it's one of my goals. You know?
I'm in love with her. Let me just give a whole context as to why we call this the ultimate review of Miss Supranational 2024. You know, there are 2 reasons for that. And the first one is, yes, we have a very special guest, Elizabeth, with us, Miss Supranational Belgium. And it's very rare that we have a contestant come on our show for her own review. So I do believe that's very, very special for us. And the second part is, you know, all about social listening. It's very important. And we really appreciate the people who actually come to our YouTube channel and give comments. And there was one comment where, you know, they spoke about that. Who are these vloggers, you know, sitting behind? What would they know? And it actually sparked a bulb that's saying, okay, we do have an outside-in view. To be fair, we should have an inside-out view as well. And that's the reason why, it's comprehensive, it's cohesive, and it's probably a 360-degree view feedback that we get. And that's a format that we wanted to experiment with. I'm so glad and so honored that you were able to make it. You said yes. Yes, it was extremely busy. So very glad to have you from two Indians. So shukriya, as we say.
Yeah, shukriya.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Emma. Thank you, Guru. We really do appreciate your feedback as pageant reviewers, pageant fans, pageant experts, historians, because that's how we get to practice and to learn and how to do better. Because, we as contestants, we watch those videos, we listen to the reviews, we take notes, and it's really a way for us to get better every time we compete. So thank you for what you do.
Absolutely. I think it goes both ways, because we learn a lot from you as well, in terms of how you handle yourself and the stress. Because when my first pageant was watching MGI, and I could not think about just standing on stage and with all that audience around, the amount of people and that energy. I don't think we can do that. So we get inspired by you a lot, and we implement those strengths and that confidence in our own lives. And we're like, it is when I'm down and I have health issues and I'm like, no, you know what, wait a minute, I can be myself, I can be confident. So you actually encourage us a lot. So I think I would like to say thank you. Reading about you, knowing about you, I'm like, my God, this is inspiring for us. And I'm like, I'm a bit nerdy, and I'm like, God, this girl is remarkable. So yes, so thank you for being you, right? And okay, so Guru, let's get started. Okay, why don't you start?
If there was one word, a very short, brief introduction of what research we did, and to be honest, guys, super impressed, blown away. I think you get to know only a part of a contestant because of their pageant experience, but when you actually scrape the surface and you find out, wow, there is so many more angles to what a person represents. And that's exactly what happened with Elizabeth as well. If there was one word that I would use to describe her, it would be multifaceted, because the kind of work that she's done, the kind of accomplishments that she's had, the breadth of work and the body of work that she represents at this age is mind-blowing. We talk of the supranational aspiration and inspirational. I think she embodies that completely. She's a young, accomplished woman. And, there's something special about you, Liz, that you grow on people. It's not the first impression, don't get me wrong. But the more you get to know, the more you peel the orange, you get to know that there's so much of richness in you. When we talk of your accomplishments, you're a model, you're an economist, you're a figure skater, you've done your bachelor's in economics, me too. You're a master's in management, so beauty with solid brains. You're a polyglot. I believe you know English, French, Dutch, Japanese, and
Czech.
Have I missed out? Good Lord.
Czech.
Yes.
So do you have? That's exactly what Guru and I were thinking. Your last name Raska, is that any Czech?
Yes,
heritage.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
In fact, very recently, I believe you've featured in the Vanity Fair UAE cover as well. Yes, which is Runway to Financial Literacy, and we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
You've worked with the likes of Elite Model Management, Vogue, Paris Fashion Week, Harper's Bazaar, Elle Model Management. You've sashayed for Michael Cinco as well. In fact, they say you're the most successful Belgian runway model in the world. And that's not all, guys. There is more to her. What she's done with her education is mind-blowing. Money with Ellie, the financial literacy platform that you've had, which is a way to give back. And we'd like to learn more about it. And you also aspire to have your own TV show one day. So my God, welcome in the house. That was a short introduction, but very, very mighty words. I do believe that we are honored to have you here. Without further ado, should we actually kick things off, Emma?
I think we should, because we want to know lots more about what Elizabeth thought about Supranational and her experience. And I'm super eager because we have had our live reaction. Everyone's seen that. And we always do a post-show analysis. But this time, I want to know how it felt from somebody so amazing. So I think we're going to learn a lot today, Guru, what really happened. So why don't you kick us off with the first question that we're going to put across?
You know,
about
each time I
Supernatural.
get to talk about the pageant, I get
You
a bit
start, you're
distracted.
getting derailed. You're getting derailed.
So let me start by asking, a very curious question as to how did you come across our channel and what made you actually write that comment? Because that's where it all started from. So really curious to know that.
After coming back to Belgium from the pageant, I was looking up online videos. I watched the show, I was watching reviews, and I saw your prelims analysis. And I was like, oh, what are they going to say? Like, I want to see the reaction to my dress, because my dress was just it for me. And you were talking about my hair and makeup, and we had to do our own hair and makeup. So it was a cake for everyone. We didn't have a hair and makeup team backstage. So I did my best. Miss Hong Kong and Miss Germany, they were helping me curl my hair because I can't do hair for the life of me. I was trying, but just the way I was holding my hair curling iron, they were like, girl, we're gonna help you and do it for you because it's not working. So for me, my hair looked great because they were helping me. So it was really the result of like collaborative work. And for the makeup, I did my makeup for prelims and finals. I really like doing my own makeup. My eyelashes were a bit heavy, especially I have the deep set hooded eyes. So I agree that it was a bit dark, but I did my best. I did something where I looked like myself. I can reproduce it how many times I want. I will look like myself. So, but I just saw your comment when you were talking about the makeup and hair not being the best. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry you didn't like it. I tried my best. And I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to talk about me and to reviewing every contestant, because it takes time and work, and you are so dedicated to your craft that I had to thank you. And when you invited me on the channel, I was like, yes, let's talk about this. Like, the world needs to know how it was really like behind the scenes as a Miss Supranational contestant.
I think it was so heartening for us to see that you responded to our video, which really, made me feel that this is someone special. It's a queen material, Everybody does not need to wear a crown, though you wear the Belgian crown, but it's the quality of how you respond. I think that really differentiates values, I would say.
About the hair and makeup, by the way, you saw my reaction. It was me, Belgium, blue, I love blue, and I do love blue. So I loved your gown. It was fantastic. I think it was one of the top gowns. I did have it as well on my list as one of the best evening looks. Yeah, with the hair and makeup, you got such a beautiful face. Hooded eyes or not, you're gorgeous. And I think if Emma was styling you, Emma would put you in a bun, because that gown was so beautiful and your hair is beautifully long, and you had to show it. I wanted your neck to show. That's where I was coming from. And I'm like, and I was talking to Guru much later after he got in touch with us. I'm like, this is how I would style her. Just a simple bun, because she's beautiful. So you were remarkable. You caught my attention, and you were on my list as a favorite. And now, knowing you so much after Guru's given such an in-depth view of who you really are, I am like, my God, you should have been top 5. Without a doubt. Emma says it on the show today. So you definitely became our favorite. And so the question I would ask you is, what actually, from all that you've studied and you're doing for yourself, how did pageants come in your life? How was the journey? What was the path that led you to beauty pageants to become Miss Belgium? How did that start?
I'm very similar to you, Emma and Guru, because I've been a pageant fan for over 10 years. I consider myself a pageant historian, very interested in pageants for so long. And I've always wanted to represent Belgium internationally, but it seemed so far away, and it never was the right timing. There was the pandemic, and then I was studying, and I wanted to be my most prepared self and my most accomplished self before competing. And so I got the opportunity to compete in Supra. And I thought, wow, this is it. Like, being Miss Belgium on an international platform, one of the top 5 biggest pageants in the world. Like, I can't say no to this. I need to go through it. And I really enjoyed every minute of it. And as a pageant fan, I would talk to other contestants, Miss Gibraltar. I would tell her, oh yeah, you won Miss World in 2009. And she's like, how the heck do you know that? And all these things, and seeing all the other queens that I've seen in other pageants, like, it's been a dream come true. So yeah, I've always been passionate about it. And then I got the opportunity to compete.
So Elizabeth, if we have to just break this down a little more, Is there a Miss Supranational Belgium competition that happened? How long, was the preparation time that you got between you getting crowned to actually, the finals or going to the supranational experience? If you could give us some more light on the contest that you won in Belgium.
Yes.
And what were your preparations for that?
Actually, I did the Miss Supranational Belgium casting back in November 2021. And I couldn't go through the competition. Yeah, I know. And I couldn't go through the competition because in March 2022, I moved to Japan to study in Tokyo. And I wanted to really go through the full experience of a pageant, but I had to finish my studies. I had to finish my master's. And so once I graduated with my master's degree in management in Tokyo, Japan, I moved back to Belgium and I told the organization, I'm here, I'm ready now. It's the end of 2022, but I am now finished my studies. I'm an actual economist. I can go through with it. And at the end of 2022, we started the process to do Miss Supranational Belgium 2024. And unfortunately, the pageant got canceled last year. It was supposed to happen in September, but they canceled it maybe a month before it was supposed to happen. So they decided to appoint me. And out of all the contestants, picked me to go to Supra. And I was honored that they really saw something in me.
It was a very wise choice.
Wow. It's just destined to happen. It happens. I mean, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, coming to the very famous blue gown, the story behind the gown, we know it was probably designed by a Vietnamese designer.
Yes.
Why blue? Is that your favorite color? Is there any, how did you reach out to them? Because when it comes to a non-sash country, it's very difficult for them to actually become more resourceful. How they can reach out to various, talent across the world. Very interesting, because when I look at the effort that you've done in making sure that your walk is right, your designers across, from the sashing ceremony to the standoff, which was in red with your suitcases. Then it was the official photo shoot, which was, I think, from Thailand. That was from Thailand. So run and walk was from, I believe, Indonesia. So you've really captured all the best across Asia. So how is that process? Because a lot of aspiring queens come and at least see and comment. And it'll be important for them to know, how do you dig into that reservoir of talent which are ready? Probably you just need to knock at their door. So would love to understand that element of your blue gown and the rest of your wardrobe.
It comes from being a pageant fan, being a hardcore pageant fan, and knowing what everyone is wearing, recognizing designs. I can tell an NTK dress just by looking at it. I know exactly who's the designer, where it's from. So it really comes from knowing the industry, seeing what other queens have been wearing, because I wanted to be considered as one of the front runners. And so I thought the first step is to look like one. So it's to have the right designers, have the right gowns, having the right level of resources to be up there. And also using my resources and network from being a professional model. I worked for Michael Cinco, so I knew people in the Philippines, in the Filipino pageant industry, fashion industry. Jojo Bragais was one of my sponsors. He sent me shoes for the show. So it's really about activating my network from being a runway model, and also contacting people that I knew were the designers to go to, or the people that were gonna make me look like a queen, and just having those resources. And the blue gown, so I really wanted to wear something that represented me and had a bit of me in it. I participated heavily in the design. I wanted it to look a certain way, to have that element of movement, to have a 3D effect, like not just one blue color, but like different parts of blue, so that it looked like it was just moving and 3D and multi-dimensional. Because I see myself, you describe me as multifaceted, and that's how I wanted my gown to be like as well, to have the different elements that really just combine together, look incredible. And I wanted long sleeves. I wanted a cape. I wanted the cape to be different colors, to go from darker to lighter. And I wanted a slit on the side. Like, I was very particular, and it just, when they sent it to me, it just fit like a glove. Every time I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror wearing it, I would cry like a bride. I was like, I couldn't get to the dress. It just was the one, and that's why I wore it both at prelims and finals, because you know to wear the best dress at prelims because you never know if people are going to get to see it at finals. So it just was work that came together, and it was the right gown. I saw other girls' reaction to the gown, and I thought, okay, I did something here just because I see how everyone is staring and complimenting it. Yeah, amazing gown.
It was amazing, and I'm happy you chose color, because if you see my reactions all the time, I'll go for the colorful gowns. I love color, and that blue was remarkable. It looked beautiful, elegant, and it looked designer. So quickly moving on, of course, the Waffle national costume gown was so adorable. Like, oh my God, it made me very hungry as well. What was the angle? Do you love waffles personally?
And Emma, just before you start, I think you had conceptualized it as well. That was your own concept and design. So that's okay. We all ears. Tell us.
So you know that Belgium is famous for chocolates and waffles, and also beers and fries, but I wanted something appetizing that would look great on stage and on a costume. And I thought, oh, chocolates are maybe the most famous element of Belgium. Everyone knows Belgian chocolates, you know. And I thought maybe that wouldn't look the best on stage, that color, that concept, it wasn't obvious to me. So I thought, okay, I want a waffle costume, and I thought, like, how would Victoria's Secret do a waffle costume?
Oh my God!
Oh.
Yes. Wow! Spot on.
So that was my idea, the initial idea, and so I designed it myself. I did the illustration and the concept, and I reached out to a Polish costume maker. She used to do cosplays, so I knew that she knew how to bring a design, a picture, an image from a manga or anime into reality, which was exactly what I needed, because I came up with a concept and image, but I'm not a fashion designer. I don't know how to make something like that, of that grand nature. So I needed to work with someone who would understand the assignment, and she did, and she's from Poland. So I wanted to have someone from Poland also in my Miss Supra preparation, because it's held in Poland. And for transporting the costume, she wasn't away, so it was really easy as well. She could just drive the costume. I didn't have to go through shipping, and you know, it just came together perfectly.
I think it worked wonders. It was very magically memorable, if I may say. You know, and I've also
heard, absolutely adorable from the obvious national costumes, and yeah, I loved it. I love waffles. I love the thing. It was.
And what I've also heard, Emma, what I've also heard is that the next day contestants were wanting to eat waffles for breakfast.
The next day, everyone at breakfast was asking the people at reception to make waffle for them for breakfast. So yeah, they were inspired, and I talked to the national director of South Africa. I'm sure you know him. He's the queen maker.
Yes.
And he congratulated me for my costume. He said the costume made him hungry. And that it was genius. So I knew I did something right there. Yeah, everyone's reaction was so wholesome and so nice. So I'm really happy that it had an impact. And even during finals, when they showed on the screen the costume show, like, my parents told me that people really had an audible reaction in the crowd when they saw my costume. So I was like, yes, I did something for Belgium.
I think it was very well conceptualized and executed. You know, there are many costumes that are thought well on paper, but when they're actually made, or when they're actually transported to the final destination, they're still good. Because we've seen in India, many costumes look great when they show on, you know, when they're launching it, but when you actually dismantle or assemble it, lots
we've not had a good national costume costumes, India has not been doing so well. And we've had times when the costume just breaks and people are taping it up. So we've not been that strong in national costume, even though some of them look good. But it's amazing that you designed it yourself. That's a lot of creativity. I mean, I was surprised to know you designed it yourself. So is that another future we're seeing in you, a designer, fashion designer, Elizabeth? You never know.
Okay, let's also talk about the Supra model dress that you had, which was red and gold. You know, it reminded me of Wonder Woman, to be honest, because of the metallic and the drape. So what was the thought process? Even the head drape. If you recollect, Isabella Menin during her preliminary in Grand International had that.
Yeah.
So when I compare and I see a stitching story to her. But yeah, more about the red and gold with the head drape Supra model dress for you.
So that's a designer from the Philippines, King of Queens, and they contacted me, and I already had the gowns made for finals by the Vietnamese designer NTK Minh Thuan. So I talked to them, like, I really want to also have people from the Philippines involved in my Supra preparation. And so I thought, oh, you can help me with the Miss Supra model competition. And they showed me one of their designs in blue. And I thought, I want to wear red. Like, I want to wear red for this because I know that I'm going to wear blue for finals. So I wanted to have some diversity in my wardrobe. And so we came up with this design. And I talked with my team how to make the best of it on stage. And so I was told, we tried different things, but I was said, like, walk halfway with your hands on your hips, and then at the end do a turn and remove the hood whilst you're turning. And there was also a reaction from people in the audience. Another pageant blogger, maybe you know her, Danny Walker.
Yes.
I worked with her. I've known her for years now, and
awesome.
Thank you. She helped me a lot, and she said, like, I could hear people react and say, like, wow, when you did the turn, because she was sitting there at the end of the runway. So it also was a moment, and I tried, you know, as a non-Sash Factor country, to make an impact whenever I could. And as a professional runway model, I knew that Miss Supra model was my time to shine.
It sure was. It sure was. I'm quite, like, it was one of the clear standouts for me when I thought of the Europe region.
The preliminaries, how did the preliminaries go for you? I mean, how did you, let's just get into the show now, and we'll talk about the swimsuit round. How did you like the swimsuit in terms of the stage, the production, the music? Because when we saw it, it was a different point of view as well. How did you think and feel? And you like your swimsuit as well, the black and yellow, I think it was.
And the cape as well. You want to know how the cape was?
And the cape,
is it good? Is it bad? Because that's always debatable.
Yeah.
For prelims, we didn't have the cape. We just had the black sarong. The cape was for top 24 in finals, I think.
Okay.
But during rehearsals, we got to wear them to try. Everyone had to try. You know, when we do rehearsals, we do every top. So we do top 24, top 12, top 5. So everyone gets the chance to rehearse, no matter how far they get. So I did wear the cape. And for me, like, I'm very thin, so I have thin arms. So it was sliding a bit. I thought, okay, if I get to top 24, I would have to glue that down so it doesn't move around when I'm walking. So that was interesting. Especially in fashion modeling, we rarely get to work capes. If we have one, we have to stay very still, very strong, very, how do you say, like, we have to be very serious, always looking kind of mean. And for pageant, opposite, you have to be cheerful and look at people and smile and work the cape and be dramatic. So it's an entirely different experience. But for the prelims, we just had the black sarong around our hips, and we're not allowed to remove it. So we could not, like,
That's something I wondered. Usually the girls work the sarong, the tie, and they didn't. Why did they not ask you to remove it?
For television, the producers of the show said, we don't want to see anything that we don't want to see on TV. It has to remain family friendly.
But I do believe that, you know, there was a one piece that all of you wore during the preliminaries. But when it came to finals, there were people, the girls who were wearing two piece. So was it that for the preliminary, that was the only swimsuit that was given.
So for prelims, everyone was required to wear the one piece, and for finals we could choose. So I do have the two-piece swimsuit for finals because I decided that if I were to make top 24, I would wear the two-piece. But for finals, you could pick one piece or two piece, and for prelims, everyone had the one piece, which was an interesting choice because, you know, I'm tall, I'm 5'10", like 178 centimeters. So for a tall girl, the one piece is not always the most flattering because of the length of your body. But, for me, it was okay. But sometimes it was the color would not be my first choice of color because it was very close to a lot of girls' skin tone. But I loved how it was sparkly. I think that the sparkles looked really good under the lights of the stage.
Because from a viewer, we could see that the flooring was black and then the sarong was also black. So somewhere it was just meshing into the whole thing. And as you mentioned, even the backdrop was yellow. So that also was not contrasting with the swimsuit. So I think that was one point that we had mentioned. But
yeah, I did not like the combination. I just felt that maybe it could have been a brighter color, you know, and that yellow is not something goes with black. Yellow can go with turquoise.
I don't know
If
whether
it's
was it yellow or was it gold? Was it yellow or was it gold?
It looked yellow for me on my screen, on my live feed. It looked yellow. So that's the problem. You said it's sparkly. You know what? It didn't sparkle when I was seeing it.
Oh,
so that's
really?
what happens. You know, when that's why we say projection, like when it's what you see and what we see. For us, it was just like dull yellow. It didn't sparkle at all on screen. So
actually, it's a sparkly gold. It's gold and it had like a lot of glitter.
Yeah.
To be frank, I was so happy to be there. It was a dream of mine for over 10 years to be on the international stage that I did not care what I was wearing. I was like, I'm here, I get to do it. That's all that matters to me. But if I could have picked, I really liked, you know, the Miss Universe circa 2014 to 2016, like the pink swimsuits.
Yes.
That's my favorites. What Iris Metanar had, like the pink fuchsia, dark mauve swimsuit, that was my dream to wear. So if I could pick, that's what I would wear. But I love the gold as well because for me, just being on that stage meant so much that I was happy with whatever, honestly.
I think which is why they don't call it the swimsuit round anymore. They call it the confidence and the elegance round, where they want to kind of move away from the typical quintessential pageant viewing of, you know, just the physical element. But I think you were definitely confident enough.
Yeah, the girls were having fun.
They were having fun
In the swimsuit. They were. And
yeah.
Did you like the music? Did you like the production? And how were the judges? How did it feel for the first time for you on that stage, performing in front of so many all across the world?
Well, the music, it's interesting because I come from figure skating, so I really love the idea of performing for judges and an audience. So it was very similar to that experience in a way, but I have no idea what the music was for any of those rounds. I don't remember any of it because I was so focused on my performance and I was so present that I don't know what was the music. I don't remember if there was any music at all. I was focused on my performance and on my turns and on portraying myself to the best of my ability and looking at the right cameras at the right time. That the music, I'm sorry, I don't remember.
We found it fast because it was like, you know, I think the music during the evening gown should have been more elegant. And I was telling Guru as well that the girls are moving very demurely and the music was a little jazzy and it just went on a little. But you worked it. So when I saw you caught my attention because evening gown, I think you nailed it. And you were definitely one of them because you caught, like, the gown was like spectacular. You were spectacular. So yeah. And I think on the evening, Guru, on the top 24, what do you have to say about
So if we actually go to the final night, how are you feeling just before the show? How are the nerves? What happens backstage? You know, that's something we are not aware of. So I want to know.
The opening number especially. How was your experience in the opening number?
So we rehearsed a lot. The final show, we would rehearse every day from the beginning of the second week we were there. So every day we would rehearse either in our hotel, or on the third week we would rehearse on the Novi Sad venue, so the actual venue. So it was really something that we worked on a lot, and that we really made sure that it was tip-top, that every movement was right. And not all of us are dancers. I'm not a professional dancer. I'm a figure skater, so I'm used to like grand, elegant movements. And here it was very fast, and we were voguing a lot. So I did my best. I'm happy with what I did. I felt really good. I really liked the dresses that we wore, the Portia and Scarlet dresses. And it was really nice. Backstage, it was a bit of chaos. It reminded me a lot of the fashion weeks I do in Paris or Milan, of everyone running everywhere, trying to get their hair and makeup done, because we had a team backstage for hair and makeup. So I did get my hair professionally done. I did my own makeup for finals, and I think my makeup was better for finals than for prelims, because I listened to a lot of remarks from people online and got some feedback and stuff for my coach. So I think that the makeup was amazing. My makeup felt amazing to me at final.
I can vouch for that, because I think Supranational also posted a picture of you during your introduction, and that is completely different. I do believe if you had that same look, things would have been much different. And as we discussed earlier, you remind me of Isabella Menin, and that hairstyle and that hairdo, that sharpness and that wholeness. I think that was your look, and I'm so happy at least on the finals you brought it on. So excellent.
To be honest, I don't have any regrets, because I was just myself the entire time. And I was told by my team, like, if you're yourself from beginning to end, you will not have any regrets, because you know that you gave it your all.
Yeah, so, absolutely. You know, we always talk about this, Guru, about when we pick our favorites, and I'll always pick the countries which are underdogs, where nobody will pick them, and I see something remarkable in them, like I did in you as well. So it's always been like that for us. Guru and I will see things that not many do, and it goes overlooked because of the fact not everybody's talking about them. So and that's the thing about being yourself and not being rehearsed. And when I hear question and answer rounds, I'm always like, no, Guru, that's very rehearsed. It's not coming from the soul. It has to come from your soul, it has to come from your heart, and that's what we look for, and that's what I see in you. If only she got a chance to speak, and I think, Guru, if she got a chance to speak, it would have been game over for the other girls, very honestly.
I think I would like to dovetail into another aspect, not related to pageants, but on your entire financial literacy aspiration of Money with Ellie. What was the trigger, if you could let us know? And you spoke about a viral post that went viral. I need to know about this advocacy, because I am a master's in economics as well, and how you've used that learning to promote and to educate specifically for women. I think that's amazing. So all ears, we would love to know about Money with Ellie.
Also, if you know Sonal, she also talks about financial independence, and I would love to know your point of view. She has been that's been her advocacy in Miss India, but however, it's been a little vague. But I would love to know yours as well, especially. So please.
So at the end of the first week, I was fortunate enough to be picked by the creative director of Miss Supranational, Andre, to talk about my advocacy to the other girls. So he picked, I don't remember if it was 5 or 6 contestants that had like a very interesting and very powerful advocacy to talk about it to the other contestants. And they projected on the wall my video talking about my From the Ground Up initiative to the other girls, and I got to speak about it. And Andre asked me, like, with whom would you want to collaborate to bring your Money with Ellie initiative to the higher level? And I said Sonal, because I said, Sonal, you're also a woman in finance, you talk about cryptocurrency, you have your own startup, so I think that we could do something together. And we spoke about it many times, that we have similar aspirations and have similar objectives in life. So I would love to do something with her. I will continue talking about finance with her. I just love her and how smart she is in that aspect of life and everything she does. And when it comes to finding my advocacy and what I wanted to do, I worked with a longtime mentor of mine, Natalie Glebova, Miss Universe.
Oh, yes.
Wow, yes, we love her.
told me years and
In fact,
years
she's just,
ago.
I think she's just launched her new website.
Yes.
She's just launched a new website, yeah.
Yes, and I worked with her. I met her a couple of years ago, and she allowed me to be introduced to the current Miss Charm Canada. She went to Miss International, Melanie Renault. She's a really dear friend of mine. So I thank I thank Natalie for allowing me to meet Melanie. But Natalie told us to find an advocacy where we had an expertise in. What could we help in? Where were we a voice of authority? And back then I was in my third year of my economics degree. So I wasn't an economist yet, but I was on their way to become one. And I thought I can do something with financial literacy. And I have financial knowledge. I have that academic knowledge of those economic matters. So maybe I can do something with that. But it was just a plan in my mind. I didn't act on it yet. I was just collecting data and information and looking at ways on how to do it. And then Miss Supranational came about, and I knew that I had to have a from the ground up initiative. And that was a trigger that really started it all. And I was reminded that I wanted to do financial literacy for people, and especially women. And so I created Money with Ellie, and I am continuing with that right now. So it was not just for the pageant, it's something that I really want to carry as my legacy and continue for years. And as you talked about it, Guru, I've had a video on that account go viral with over 1 million views. So it really shows that there's a need for financial literacy content online today, and being able to educate people and entertain them, because people go on social media to be entertained. That's a combination that means that I can really reach people. And social media is where you have to be now to reach amazing and so many individuals. So I'm really happy that Money with Ellie is really helping people.
Subject, and you are more in depth with it. Sonal has been talking about it. She's also a smart girl. She's from University of Pennsylvania, so you know that she's got it. I do think you guys getting together, collab with both of you. Did you bond a lot with Miss India while you were in Supranational?
I love her. She just has a light in her, and she was wearing those amazing Indian designs. Every time I saw her, she was talking about it, the culture, the heritage that she has, and it really inspired me a lot. So she was really someone I enjoyed talking to. But I also loved Miss Indonesia, Tata. We had incredible conversations together, spent so much time together. Miss Japan, Philippines, Czech Republic, whom I spoke Czech with, my roommate, Miss Germany. There's so many girls. I want to cite them all, honestly, because they're all incredible, accomplished, incredible speakers, and beautiful inside and out. But yes, Sonal is truly special to me.
Universe 2015 Pia's smize not being captured when she was there at finally, presenting her evening gown, and the final when she turns and she has a smize. That's because that's a final pose, and you put in so much of effort. Even the runway in which you would define how would you walk, what are the turns, what is your signature movement. Though I do believe it doesn't impact judging, because the judges can see everything. They are not restricted by the camera angle. But for us, it's just a moment that could have been, etched in life, in history forever.
But Supranational has changed it up a lot this year. They've had problem with this, as we've seen India. Every time she comes in swimsuit in the opening number on the opening show, just 2 seconds and we don't see Indonesia comes, and then they go to the next. So they do these weird angles. However, this time they did bring it on. The stage was a lot better on the finals. The lighting was a lot brighter, if you have noticed. And one simple question, just a little bit of a diversion. Mr. Supranational, did you get to see the show? Did you get to watch the contestants perform?
Oh, yes.
And my God, they were all sexy. Who was your favorite? I would love to know, because mine was Mr. Poland, actually.
So we got to see the Mr. Supranational pageant live. We were there in the VIP section on the sides. However, we were supposed to have the or red carpet moment that day. Sometimes you see at Supra, the red carpet, the girls on the red carpet. This time it couldn't happen because it was raining heavily that day. So we were supposed to do it before the Mr. Supra pageant on the red carpet, the photo call in front of the venue, but it was raining so hard, and all the girls in the bus were like, we have hair makeup and heels and gowns, how we will get from like even the bus to the venue, and then we don't get the pictures. Like, what is that going on? So that was an interesting moment for sure. But yeah, I did watch the show live. And after the top 5 final question, when I heard everyone's answer, after Mr. South Africa said his piece, I know he won. I said he's gonna win. After he spoke, he said, I'm a medical doctor, and talk about, I don't remember the question, but I remember how he made me feel inspired. And he was so complete as a person that after the top 5 question, I turned right to Miss Denmark. She was sitting next to me, Victoria, and I said, he's gonna win. And he did.
Yeah,
I think he was always one of the clear favorites even before the contest. But we really felt that even Netherlands just grew on that night. It was like he came from nowhere, but he really shined. So it was a good top 2 to have.
It was a very close final, actually. I mean, I was surprised Poland, they would not give it to the home country, but I was really rooting for Poland and, of course, Netherlands. But yeah, I think you're right. South Africa, a medical doctor, and he spoke very well. He's a smart guy. You know that he's a smart guy. So I think that was amazing to watch. Okay, so now want to know about top 24 of Miss Supranational. How did you feel about the top 24? Because we were surprised with some winners. And disappointed with some not coming. Were you happy with the top 24 that you got to see on the final night?
Do you remember that it's not actually 24 but 25?
Of course,
one came up. Like, oh, of course.
We completely forgot that Brazil has not come in, and we thought that Vietnam was going to come, because Vietnam has coming every year for some strange reason. So yes, it was it felt like a grand moment, because Miss Grand does these tactics of suddenly introducing another contestant.
How did you feel about the top?
How was that
the surprise of 25 finally?
Yeah, they said, oh, actually, there's one more. The presenter announced, and I was like, oh okay, yeah. And I heard the B, and I was like, maybe not. And then it was Brazil, but I knew that Brazil had to be in there. So to be honest, I didn't feel any sadness. After the show, I wasn't crying backstage. I was just at peace with my performance. I know that what I did was good. I was happy with everything that I did. I said I did everything right. It's really hard being from Belgium, of course. It's not a country that has a lot of tractions in terms of pageants. So but I was myself the whole time. So I was like, if I'm in it, great. If I'm not in it, great as well. I'm just gonna go somewhere else. You know how in 2022, Miss Germany was unplaced at Miss Supra and then went on to win Miss International. So I am just redirected towards something that will fit me better. So top 24, I was happy with everyone. I think that there are some girls I was like, I was surprised. I was like, I would have seen her there or her, but they decided to pick who they wanted to pick. And ultimately, they made the choice that made the most sense for Supra and their brand. And I knew that Miss Curacao and Miss Czech Republic were going to be top 5. I knew for sure in my heart that I had like an inkling. And Miss Czech Republic was someone I spoke to a lot and spent a lot of time with. But my family is from Czech Republic, so we were speaking Czech together, and we bonded because of the language. So I was happy for everyone, and it's meant to happen that way. It's that night, it's someone's destiny, and you can't do anything against the universe and destiny. So yeah,
absolutely. Were you surprised about Miss USA making it? Because this was she didn't really do well in the evening gown, although she's beautiful and everything. But I did find it a bit off. How was your experience with Miss Universe? With Miss USA, did you connect with her? Did you interact with her? What did you think about her making top 5? Because that was a bit of a thing for both of us about Miss USA.
She was always giving me 90s supermodel vibes with her hair. She has a way of her hair that's always so big and fluffy. She really reminded me of Claudia Schiffer or Cindy Crawford back in the 90s. some people thought she was going to win on the final night. Some people thought, oh, she's going to win. For some reason, some people have like a really good feeling about those things. I was happy for her to be first runner-up. I was like, oh wow, she really came a long way. I was just happy for her. I didn't see it coming either, to be very honest. But when she made it, I was like, wow, she was also one of the underdogs. But United States is obviously a really big country, but you don't always see them do big things in contests that are not Miss Universe, because
true.
Miss Universe are related, so they tend to do better in that system. Even though they won Miss Grand a couple years ago. So it was interesting. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that will get more, the Miss Supranational system will gain more traction in the US. It's a really big market for pageants. So I can't tell you. I was just happy for her, you know, top 2 for an underdog, like crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you're right. It was an underdog and surprised us at the end. But yeah, I was very happy Indonesia won. I did not have a prediction this time when we were watching the finals together. I was watching football at the time, and then I was watching Euros, and then I finished that, and I quickly came and watched the live show. So I was very happy, and I kept it all real. And like you said, it was all about destiny, and I think Indonesia was absolutely the clear winner from what we saw finally on that day. So okay, here's a question for you. This is not the end for you on the pageant journey. So what is your plan next? What are you going to tap next? I mean, I would love to know. Are you going to try for Miss Universe? Are you going to try for MGI? What is on the horizon?
I asked my followers on Instagram, like, what pageants would you see me compete in next? Like, what do you advise me to do? And I read through the suggestions, and I saw Miss International and Miss Earth a lot. I think that International came back a lot because of my background in Japan, speaking Japanese.
Yes.
And Miss Earth, as someone who is highly educated. So I think I should go to a system where being well-spoken and a smart person or highly educated is valued. So I think I should go. I was thinking of maybe enrolling in the pageant here in Belgium that has both Miss International and Miss Earth, and see if they could send me to one of those pageants now that I have experience, because now I know better from the inside. Before going to Supra, I just knew it from the outside as a pageant fan like you guys, from watching so many pageants over the years and knowing everything about everyone and all the winners. So now I have that understanding that comes from really being part of it. And now I know how to go about it. I was extremely prepared, so I wasn't really scared of going into it, but now I've been through an entire show, so I know how it works, and I know how I want to do things and how I want to go about things. I know who to work with, how to contact people and stuff. I have a lot of support. So I would think maybe Miss International and Miss Earth. So
I think that's wonderful, and I do support Miss Earth a lot, because I have noticed that the whole pageant season that happened last year and currently what's happening now, the most fair judging I have seen is with Miss Earth. And I do love the whole advocacy of Miss Earth as well. And you are super intelligent. They're gonna listen to you. That's what I love about Miss Earth, is that it's a Filipino pageant. So you know they're going to be fair. And I do feel that they have been in the judging from what we've seen. I think it was Albania who won. And she was fantastic. And from the beginning, from what she spoke to everything, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, absolutely. So I would die to see you on Miss Earth stage. I mean, I think you're gonna nail that, because I'm all about the environment as well, and you're a vegan as well. So yeah, I think that's more something closer to your heart as well. So well, sending you all love and positive energies. I would love to see it happen, Guru.
I still feel that you are so well suited for Universe. I just feel the fact that
can't she do Earth and Universe? I mean,
irrespective, she can. It's a and statement, not an or. You can do everything. Right?
Okay.
But I do feel, with the experience, with the fact that your platform is already there, and how you've utilized it, and your modeling skills, I think all these are super important, and they fit well with Universe as well. So I do believe Universe is your oyster, and it could be any, because the designers who actually. I don't think. I think all doors should be open, and pageantry is also just one door. You know, there's so many other aspects of life, and I think that's what you're a proof of. You know, you've not just been a model, but you've done this. It's an and statement. You can't be this or this.
Well, when it comes to pageant, I also considered at some point Miss Grand, but it's a bit, it's a lot outside of my comfort zone as a European. That's even Supra was a lot for me in terms of the walk, you know, having to coming from runway to pageants, it's very different. So yeah, but
agreed. Grand also, you know, is more to do with the business angle, because they clearly state there's body, there is beauty, and there is business, where how much you spend, how much your national director, your country spends, that is a consideration when it comes to how contestants progress in the competition. So that would be my...
Honestly, I'm going to be honest in saying, because I have said this on the show many times before, Elizabeth, that MGI is more model-esque. It's more about the superficiality of the modeling industry. And I don't see someone so, you know, intelligent and has a vision for so many things in her life. I think those wonderful qualities would get drowned in MGI. They wouldn't be noticed properly. So I do feel Miss Universe would appreciate this. Miss Earth would as well. Not sure so about Miss International, but I think, yeah, Guru says Miss Universe, then you know what? Just go for it.
Even MGI, you know, it's a model thing, but you've already reached that. You've
done that. So
you've been there, done that. So it's not for a modeling assignment that you would want to get into this. I think you've already the PhD there. So
yeah, you already well known in the modeling industry, and you've made quite remarkable, you know, achievements which the girls you see in MGI have not. So for them, it's a stepping stone from there to move on to something that they would love to do and be noticed. And I think definitely not the platform for you. I would suggest Miss Sad, Guru would suggest Miss Universe. So yeah, we'd love to see what goes on from there. Okay, so
more questions. No, I need to know, what was your best, other than yours, which contestant had the best evening gown in the top 12?
Your favorite evening gown, yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. I really liked Miss Indonesia, the way it was matching the crown. It reminded me of Arbani when she won Miss Universe. Added when she was wearing the Ryan Fernandez, when they added last minute the blue details on her black gown to match the crown. Once the picture of the crown was out, it really it was meant to be. The crown was really it was matching very well with her dress, so I think it was really meant to be for her. I liked how Miss Czech Republic's gown was moving, because I love movement in my gown. When I did the opening ceremony, I was also wearing a gown with fringe, so I love how that looks on stage and how it accompanies every movement that you make. But Tata's dress and the fact that she won and that it was just perfect match with the crown, I think it's just a sign that destiny is there and is real.
Absolutely.
What about the final 5 question? You know, while we understood that the top 5 were quite, we expected them to be there, but when it came to the final crowning, we just felt some of the, I don't know, it didn't translate into what we understood of the question. So would you believe that the final result was not just about the final question and it was more about the whole journey? Or just your views on that? Because, you know, purely based on the answer about, you know, looking at your childhood and talking to, we had a different set of people that we thought would win. So what are your views?
We all had to send our childhood pictures. They asked for them maybe 2 days before we were set to arrive in Poland, 2-3 days, I think. So I was wondering what they're going to use it for. They told us it's going to be for the final show. The director was asking for them. And then I saw the final 5 question. I was like, oh, that's what it was. I think that they really look at the girls from the perspective of the 3 weeks. And even what we did before, the supranational system is a young pageant still in the grand scheme of things compared to universe or international and world. So they're looking for opportunities. So they're looking for a well-rounded girl that comes from a organization that is going to support them. So I think that they look at so many different things. It's not just how you perform on the final night. So I think that they made the right choice for them, and that Tata is already doing the most incredible job.
Yeah, I see her always live. You know, she's coming live on Instagram. Like, I think she's the busiest queen as we speak right now of the top 4. Cool.
Yeah. Okay,
Emma,
all right.
what is next?
Next, of course, now this is the fun part of the show because we're going to go to our rapid fire question round. And this is going to be all getting to know Elizabeth. Before we begin, there's something I love about your name, Elizabeth Victoria. Are you named after someone?
I have the name of princesses and queens.
Yeah.
You know, so many different princesses and queens that are Queen Elizabeth, Queen Victoria. And so my mom wanted me to have those names, and I you know, day to day I go just by Elizabeth Raska, but as a public figure, as a model, I'm Elizabeth Victoria Raska, and that's really my persona and who I am, you know, to the world. And she thinks that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy that with such a name I had to have a crown. I had to be, you know, a queen.
Oh my God. This is beautiful.
Lovely.
Wow.
Belgian crown. And actually, fun fact, I don't know if you know that here I have them sitting next to me, but I have 3 sashes because I have my own sash, but we also I have my own sash, but we have both 2 Miss Supranational sashes, one that we wear day to day, and one
for the
one we wear just for finals, because the one that we wear everything gets dirty. So we have a brand new one for finals. So that's a little
This is wonderful. What about the crown? Do you get to keep the crown, or do you have to pass it on to the next winner?
This is my crown. So this is my Miss crown forever, Miss Supranational Belgium.
Beautiful.
And really special, and it's blue, so it goes with the Miss Supranational branding, and it's just with the name like Elizabeth Victoria, like I had to be a queen, like it was written.
You know, being a queen is definitely in your future, because, you know, when I heard your name, and, you know, the late Queen, Her Majesty, is one of my favorite persons in the world. And I loved your name. And I told Guru, like, Elizabeth Victoria, I wonder if there's a link. You know, I got to ask her about that name. I think it's a very powerful name, and you are destined to have a crown, my dear. And looking forward to seeing more crowns in your future. So
working on it.
We're going to be keeping a very, very close eye on you, and we're going to be getting you on our show as much as we can. And of course, what did you say, Guru?
What's your favorite color? Is it blue, or was blue because of Supra?
I like blue. I tend to wear a lot of purple. I wore this outfit in one of the activities of Supra the first week when we went to the Waffle castle. And I was the only one wearing this color, and I was told by my coach, like, you stood out so much because of that color. We could see you in every picture, and we saw you everywhere. So I do like purple a lot right now. So I would like to compete in purple one day. It didn't work out this time, but blue had also that element of me being a figure skater, you know, especially at the sashing ceremony. It reminded me of a figure skating dress, and the final, the blue gown that you like, Emma, is also very figure skating-esque with the long sleeve. But yeah, I love pink as well. I love colors that you don't see that much in pageantry. So purple, pink, blue is a classic, but it felt right in the moment. And I will compete in another color in another pageant, so that each pageant has like a different type of brand. Not branding, I will always be me, but I mean a different type of maybe red, who knows? I don't know yet.
No, I love that you choose color. I love that you have a lot of color in your wardrobe, which we did see. And that's amazing, because I'm so bored with the same white and the silver, and, you know, that's what's been going on, and I'm bored with it. So I love a pop of color, and it suits you brilliantly. So, you know, and you know, your fashion is spot on. You know exactly what color suits you, what design suits you. You know how to design, you know how to choose. So that is not something many girls have. Trust me, because when we do reviews, we're always like, oh my God, why did she wear this gown? Why? Is it the national director? Was it her own choice? But we see that this is you, and it's representing you. That's why it's so amazing. So I think this is a talent, my dear, and you are definitely very talented in this in fashion as well. Okay, so we're going to go on to the last because this is a long thing and it's 9 p.m. here now. Guys, this is a rapid fire question round with Elizabeth, and we're going to get to know her a little bit more. Okay, are you ready, Elizabeth?
I am, yes.
Okay, and the first question is, Belgium is famous for chocolates and diamonds, and they say chocolates and diamonds can be a girl's best friend. Which is your best friend and why?
My best friend is Waffle. Neither.
Oh, you didn't choose diamonds. Good girl. Smart. And you're not a fan of diamonds?
Of course, diamonds and chocolates, I couldn't get enough of those. But for me, because of my national costume, I had to say waffles for Belgium.
Wonderful. Guru, you're next.
Okay, who is your celebrity crush?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question. Maybe Kendall Jenner. I am obsessed with her as a model. She's one of my favorite models of all time.
Oh, yeah. She was amazing on Met Gala. I loved her at the Met Gala when she did that the whole crystal gown. That was amazing. Beautiful. Okay, so here, if you were deserted on an island, what 3 items would you take with you? Essential items would you take with you?
I would take sunscreen.
Mm-hmm.
I would take something to filter water. Very practical.
Oh, that's nice.
I would take my crown to always remember who I am.
Oh, that is so
Okay.
sweet.
Next question. Your role model in life.
My role model, it's a question that you prepare for in pageants a lot, but for me, it's Angèle. She is a Belgian singer, and she did a song with Dua Lipa called Fever. I'm sure you've heard of it before, and I love how she talks about feminism and really is a female empowerment glamazon. I love her.
Excellent.
Okay, and which is your favorite movie and why?
I would say Mean Girls. I think it's a nice movie. I know that you want me maybe to say something deep and thoughtful, but
we want to know you. Not at all.
I think it's iconic. Yeah, nothing can beat it. I think it's the best.
That's true. That's true. I think it's just the kind of movie you just love that you hate that you love it, but you love it because it's actually that kind of a movie. It's got stuck in my head as well. All right, Guru, you up next.
Okay. Falling or rising?
Falling, because it allows you to rise.
Very good. Okay. This is going to be interesting. Supranational or Miss Universe?
Well, Miss Supranational is done for me. I need to move forward, and Miss Supra just wasn't my destiny. So I would have to say maybe universe.
Okay.
So evening gowns or swimsuit?
Oh, this is such a tough question. I would have to say evening gown. I think it's iconic. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. Are you a coffee or tea person?
Tea. I don't drink coffee.
Nice. Oh, that's good. I'm a coffee addict, so that's a very good thing you said. Tea. Guru, baby, wait, baby, 2 minutes. Okay, Guru.
Staying at home or traveling all the time? What's your...
Oh my God, I don't know how I can respond to that question. I do a bit, that's really hard. It's the hardest question. You can ask me any type of controversial questions in the world. I'm prepared for them. I've been through so many question and answer training and preparation coaching, but such a simple question I can't answer. Well, I love to stay at home because I love to recharge with my family and loved ones whenever I can. But I also love to travel, and I'm a fashion model, so I travel the world all the time. So I would say traveling and then trying to stay at the hotel to rest whenever I can.
Good. Are you a day or a night person?
I am more of a day person. I love how you can do so many things in the day compared to night. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Love or fame?
That's interesting, like, as a question. I think maybe love, because it's something you can't buy or you can't fake.
Yeah. True. This is interesting. Fashion or pageantry?
Fashion. I feel like I'm more suited to be a model than a pageant queen, but at least I'm trying and I enjoy both, but I'm more of a fashion girl, yeah.
You're just getting started, my dear. So we see amazing things coming for you in the future. Guru, go ahead.
Okay. Your favorite beauty queen?
You can give us two answers, your favorite in general and one Indian for our Indian viewers.
Oh my God, I love Indian queens. I think Shushmita Sen is an amazing speaker. And I'm so inspired by Lara Dutta. Her final answer at Miss Universe, I get chills every time I hear her speak. So Indian queens, Manuchi Pilar, like I love her as well when she was studying medicine, like so many amazing queens. Like I really want to go to India just to see what's in the water there that creates so many queens. And I was a big fan of Arbani and Iris, and I got to meet both of them.
Wow.
I met so many Miss Universes, Natalie Glebova, Arbani, because Arbani was closing the Michael Cinco show I was walking in at Paris Fashion Week last October. We were walking the same show. I was not a title holder yet. I was just a runway model. And we were walking the same show. I was wearing a black gown and she too, and she was closing the show. So we were getting ready together. And I was like, I can't believe that even though I'm not a beauty queen, I'm doing the same show as Miss Universe.
Fangirling, huh?
And yeah, I couldn't speak to her when she's like, hi, how are you? What's your name? And I was like, hi. I couldn't talk to her. Like I was just, and she gave me amazing advice for Supra. I told her I was preparing for Supra before I was even announced. I was just hoping to go, and she filmed a video with me. It's on my Instagram. You can find it, where she gave me just her advice to do well in pageants. So Arbani Nola was like, literally, Arbani Gabriel was literally the one helping me to prepare for Supra and gave me advice. And Iris, Miss Universe 2016, Iris Mittenor, I met her when she came to Brussels to do her book signing. And so I got to talk to her. I was 20 and I was also fangirling. She's one of my all-time favorite beauty queens. And Natalie Glebova, who's my coach. And I met, Miss Colombia 2015, Ariadna, that was announced, Miss Universe, and ultimately she was first runner-up. I met her in Paris last year at Fashion Week. So yeah, I met a lot of beauty queens before I even became a beauty queen. So it was meant to be, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, that's it for our rapid fire round. But before we go, Elizabeth, what advice or what words of wisdom would you like to give young girls out there who want to take a step into pageantry from your experience being a fashion model and being in Supranational? What would you like to say to them?
I want to tell them that what I said in the opening ceremony of Miss Supranational, as a figure skater, that falling is just an opportunity to rise up again. So to not be afraid of failing, because that's how you learn. And it's just a way for you to try again something new and do better and get better. And so for me, I didn't win Miss Supranational, but it allows me to explore other ways to talk about financial literacy, to talk about things that are important. I can find another platform. It wasn't my destiny, so I can just see it as an opportunity to grow and to go to something that fits me better instead of seeing it as a failure, because it is not. It allows me to do amazing things. And my second advice for them is to be yourself. And it's so cliche, because before I went into the pageant, people would tell me that, and I thought, oh, okay, right. And I understand it better now, because I was myself the entirety of the competition. So I have zero regrets, and I'm very happy with what I did. And I know that I was true to myself. So if it wasn't what Miss Supranational was looking for, then it's okay, because that's just me. I can't change who I am. I will just go towards something where they like me the way I am. And that can be Miss International or Miss Earth or Miss Universe. We'll see. But yeah, be yourself and don't be afraid of failing, because it's just an opportunity for you to get back again.
Absolutely. That is so beautiful and very powerful. In fact, it's true, because, you're destined for a path, and then you learn, and then you know which way you need to go eventually. So that's never give up, guys. And that's You heard it from Miss Belgium herself. So, okay, Guru,
this that I think it's just been so wonderful, Elizabeth, to have had shared the same screen with you. It's very simple as the advice that you've given. Be yourself and don't let failures be treated as one. They're so simple, but one has to continuously center oneself, to remind oneself daily. Because yes, these conversations are very cerebral, but once you go back to your office and your boss gives you, something, or you're not having a good time with your colleagues or your family, things can get overwhelming, and one has to continuously know that this is just another way of God or people testing you to become better versions of yourself. So I do believe they are very relevant, and for you to have said that on our show as well really validates what the Pageant Gurus have been all about. So thank you very much. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. And from both Emma and myself, that, for you to have come on our show. And in fact, for you to have actually come and be talking today is nothing but redirection, from you're saying that, whatever we spoke, how the way you actually responded to us, and we were discussing this earlier as well, it just shows a lot of values that you had. One could misconstrue what we were saying and taken it in a negative light, but you actually, you walked the talk, you took the positive elements of it, and you also acknowledged that, this was the best you could do. There could be another queen who would have seen our reaction and responded or not responded. But for you to have done that really shows that you are, I think you've got your basics right. And I think I'm very, very happy to have connected with you on this. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
It's an absolute blessing actually to connect with you. And I am a spiritual counselor, so for me, I feel souls are destined to know each other, and nothing can stop it from happening. No matter how it happens, it'll happen in the most uncanny way. But if you're supposed to connect with the soul, you will. And you're a beautiful soul indeed. And it's truly a blessing for us to know you and share this moment with you and get to know so much about your life, about pageants, a point of view that we don't necessarily get to see very often. So thank you for, listening to the Pageant Gurus, supporting us as well, and showering so much of love and support. It's just been amazing to know you, and we're going to look forward to having you back on in the future with, we do a lot of reviews and everything, and we'd love to have you, and we talk about a lot of important issues when it comes to women empowerment as well, and we want somebody like you speaking her mind with us as well. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show, and we're going to see you soon because the pageant season is on. So you're going to get a lot from Pageant Gurus, and we might just see Miss Belgium back with us really, really soon. So that's it for us, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified on our upcoming videos, and of course, follow us on Instagram. So now we're going to do this together. The sign off is Shukriya. So you're going to say that with us together. 1, 2, 3. Shukriya.